Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me. In this session, we're going to focus on the exercise traditionally called a dead bug. It's given as a quote-unquote core exercise, and people often have a lot of questions about it. So we're going to go over just some modifications to help you do various levels of this that work for you. I'm using a pillow or a small rolled bath towel and a smaller flat like kitchen towel, one that's much smaller. I'm going to be laying on our back here, and I'm going to have this flat towel right where my waist is, between my ribs and the top of my hips. That just gives you some feedback about where your lower back is and or isn't. Now, if you put the towel there and you don't feel anything, you may need to fold up just a little bit of a flap of the towel to help your lower back get more tactile feedback about where the towel is, right? So be aware of that. If you're laying on your back, you don't feel anything, try giving a little fold just to one side of the towel to make it just a little bit thicker until you can get some more feedback about the towel touching your lower back. And then it takes time. Things to think about here. Once you've found the place where you have that tactile feedback with the towel, we'll call that your center place, or where you're going to start from. From your center place, from your starting position, you have options. You could put more pressure of your lower back into the towel, so try that. Push your lower back against the towel, right? That's more pressure. And then return to your beginning where you're not having more or less pressure on the towel. And again, from the beginning, put more pressure on the towel behind you. That's right. And then release that pressure. One more time. Again, put more pressure on the towel behind you. Really great job. And then release that. Now I'm going to do the inverse. Put less pressure, make less contact with the towel, and then release that. And then make less pressure, keeping your tailbone, your bum on the floor, and then release that. And then you can keep the back of the tailbone on the floor, hips on the floor, make less pressure with the towel, and then release that. So those are the big variations that you have. You can stay where you are in the starting position. You can put more pressure, or you can put less pressure, all oriented from your starting position. Now, you might be a little more comfortable here if your head is on a soft, small towel, or a rolled up bath towel, or a small pillow. That's going to help a lot of people out tremendously. So just keep that in mind. When you're laying on your back, you want your face and chest to look in the same direction. Your chest should not be facing upwards and your head should not be going another place, right? A rolled up towel or a small pillow will really help that. Now, focus on keeping the same position of your waist in regard to the towel behind your waist, right? You're going to just pick up one leg. Did you change the relationship between your lower back and the towel? Not the back of your hips on the floor, because that's going to be a pressure change. You're thinking about the waist area between the ribs and hips where that towel is. Did that change? And then return. Let's do it again. You're going to feel a change of weight on the back of the hips, but you're focusing on where the towel is. Can that not change? Can you not put any more or less pressure on the towel behind you? And then return. One more time. Again, you're going to feel the back of the hip have a weight change, but you should not feel that change to the back of where your towel is touching your waist. And then return. Let's try the other leg. Breathe. It'll help to breathe. You're going to move the thigh bone, picking the foot up. You're going to feel the weight shift on the hip here, but try not to change the shape to the towel. Return. And that can be hard to distinguish those two separate feelings, right? Because go do it again. As you lift this leg up, you're going to have more weight on the same side back of the hip as the leg that lifts, because it's not on the floor. The floor is not supporting that leg anymore. That hip's going to have more weight to it, and then return. That's just natural. What you're trying to not do is, as that hip takes more weight, is to also put more or less pressure on the towel behind your waist. And then return. So that's the basic concept there, right? So we're going to start with one leg in the air. Try to relax your shoulders. That's where the pillow really helps. You're going to reach with the knee bend. The foot goes towards the floor only as far as your lower back maintains its relationship to the towel. And then lift it back up. That's all you do. Breathing. Lowering only as far as you don't have a decrease or increase pressure to the towel behind you, and lift up. That's all you do. Again, lower, breathe deeply. 3, great job. And lift, 2 more. Moving my thigh bone here, right? So it's not just a knee movement. The leg of thigh bone lowers and lifts. One more time. Great job. Relaxing your shoulders, lower
and lift, and then put that foot down and rest. Great job, right? The goal is no pain or strain and maintaining your lower back in that position. Right, let's try the other leg, lifting. Maintain your lower back. Lower this foot to the floor only as far as you don't decrease or increase pressure to the towel behind you, and lift. And there's no pain or strain. We'll talk about pain or strain in a second. Breathe deeply, 4, and lift. Take your time. Again, make sure the foot's not crossing across your body either. 3, it's in line with the thigh. And return. Again, relax your shoulders. Lower, breathe deeply, 2, and lift. So make sure that foot's not coming across your body. That tends to be something that happens as well. And lift. And then return that foot down. Your legs are going to feel quite different. No one's legs are symmetrical, right? Just acknowledge that. Now, let's say you had pain or discomforture there. You have options, right? You can put more pressure on the towel, or some people need to put less pressure on the towel, and that's different person to person. So if you were someone that had discomforture trying that, you can try and put more pressure on the towel, lift your leg, and then try the lowering the leg and lifting the leg here, keeping that increased pressure on the towel the whole time and not letting that increased pressure change, right? Does that help you out? And then rest, increase the pressure, try the other leg. Does this help you out? Think about how this feels. Did increasing pressure to the towel behind you lower and lift? 4, decrease your sense of strain or stress, specifically to your waist or lower back. 3, you're going to have feelings in the leg and hip. I get that. 2, we're only talking about that lower back. 1, 2 feet down and rest. Conversely, you can try putting a little less pressure on that towel and lift the leg up here, and try it this way as well. Try not to have an increased sense of less pressure, but just the same amount of decreased pressure, right? So the lower back is just not increasing or decreasing the pressure once we have that establishment there, right? You're not increasing it and keep increasing it. Put the foot down, rest, great job. Again, try to decrease the pressure a little bit and then keep that, and try to lift the leg up and lower it here. Does this help decrease the sense of strain or stress? You may have one side that needs to have increased pressure to the towel and another side that doesn't, or one side that needs increased pressure to the towel and one side that needs decreased pressure to the towel, and rest. Honor side to side and don't judge yourself so harshly. Right? So those are the basics, and there's more that you can do there, right? You can have the leg go a little further away from you, keeping the same amount of pressure to the towel the whole time, and bend it in you. That would be an increased challenge there. If that was too much for you, you can try sliding your foot on the floor and dragging it in, keeping the same amount of pressure to the towel behind you. Right? These are all variations of what's called a classic bug. There's many, many different things. Now, to make it more intense, that's what people generally want to do. People always assume that more intense is better, but that's not true. Regardless, this is how it's usually taught, is to have 2 legs bent in the air, then reach one thigh away from you, keeping your lower back very still, and then lift, then the other thigh away from you and lift. Rest, 1 foot down, 2 feet down, right? That's how it's traditionally taught. You may not be able to have 2 legs in the air and no strain or stress to your lower back. We'll go over that in a second, right? But maybe if you just put a little more pressure to the towel, you can have 2 legs in the air successfully. Keeping the same amount of pressure on the towel, you can lower and lift one leg. With this increased pressure on the towel may help you, right? Have no strain to your lower back or tension to your shoulders or neck, right? So you can try that for yourself. Let's do 4 more here. In case you didn't know, you're doing it with me. Breathe deeply, 4, and lift. Great job. Gentle, 3. Keep that same amount of pressure to the towel. The whole time. That's right. Then release 1 foot down, 2 feet down. Release the pressure of the towel. You can also try a decreased pressure of the towel and try it that way. Does that make it hard? Is it really aggressive to have decreased pressure on the towel as you lower and lift one leg? You may find the answer is yes. That's fine. You have options there. You can either move the leg less, right, as long as you don't have pain or strain, or you just wouldn't do the position of having decreased pressure of the towel if what you feel here is mostly your lower back and it feels uncomfortable to you, right? So those are your options there. But let's say neither worked for you. You couldn't just keep your back still with 2 legs up. You couldn't do it with increased pressure, and you couldn't do with you couldn't do with increased pressure, and then you couldn't do with decreased pressure. None of that worked for you. Then I recommend you put something higher behind your hips, and it's touching the back of your hips mostly. Now you don't have something touching your waist most likely, so you can move it a little higher so it can touch at least your waistband area. So you can think of pushing your waistband into the cushion or not, right? And most people are really going to increase the pressure of the waistband into the cushion and then try the exercise like that. The foot may not go as far towards the floor as it did when you had nothing under your hips, but you have more range of motion here, so it's not going to happen generally, right? But this may help you have two legs in the air, no stress or strain to your lower back, and a feeling of accomplishment. And that's great, right? So you would just have your hips on something, pressing your waistband into whatever it is that you have, not so much that your hips are leaving the cushion, right? Back of the hips and waistband, and that should really help you out quite a lot, right? Maintaining your head. If you had something under your head here and you're using something under your hips, try not to have something under your head unless you absolutely need it a lot, right? Remember, you want your face and chest to look up to the sky directly. If your head is falling back and your hips are on a pillow, you can put a little small something under your head if that helps, but maybe not the same height that you had, right? That just can create a lot of pressure to your neck. That's the only reason, right? Keeping your waistband into this prop here that's behind you is going to be the focus. That's the goal. 1 foot down, 2 feet down, and rest. Great. And then remove and come down. So those are how you would modify dead bug exercise for various feelings, right? And all of them relate to how your lower back is being positioned, right? Your core is three-dimensional. It's not just the front, it's not just the back, it's not just the sides. It's three-dimensional. So thinking about how your lower back is positioned can orient those soft tissues three-dimensionally around your body into different places that will help you get stronger over time. No one position is great for everybody, and everyone's different, right? So I know it may seem like there's too many options there, but try it out and find what works best for you, and then practice that. And over time, you'll get a sense of what do I need to do to be successful in this exercise long term. And you will find yourself getting stronger over time with practice. I hope you enjoyed. My name is Eric. This is Nucleus Strength. I look forward to getting stronger with you in the future. Yours in good health. Take care.